Lebanon triggers regional domino. Jordan seals border. Egypt issues war warning. Incoming. South sector bearing 180. Multiple launches detected. Get everyone below, now. Move. That's Fajr 5s. Range on those is 75 clicks. They're hitting the base. Corporal, get that gate sealed. Nobody in, nobody out. This is not a drill. What you just heard is a reconstruction based on operational reports being discussed across regional defense circles of what Israeli Defense Forces personnel stationed along the northern border experienced at 0347 local time on April 28, 2026, when Hezbollah launched the largest single rocket barrage against Israeli territory since the 2006 Lebanon War. An estimated 340 rockets and guided missiles fired in a coordinated 90-second salvo that overwhelmed Iron Dome coverage sectors across the Western Galilee and struck military installations, civilian infrastructure, and transportation nodes from Kiryat Shmona to Haifa. This is no longer a border skirmish. This is no longer a contained exchange of fire between two adversaries operating within understood rules of engagement. What happened at 347 was the opening of a new front in a regional war that has now expanded beyond the boundaries that any single actor can control, triggering a chain reaction across the Levant that saw Jordan seal its western border with Israel within 6 hours. Egypt issue its most explicit war warning since the Camp David Accords, and the entire Eastern Mediterranean enter a state of military alert that has not been seen since October 1973. How did a single Hezbollah barrage trigger a regional domino effect that crossed 3 international borders within 12 hours? Why did Jordan seal its border, and what does that decision reveal about the structural fragility of the Hashemite kingdom? What exactly did Egypt's war warning say, and to whom was it directed? Stay with us, because the answers reveal a Middle East on the edge of a transformation that no ceasefire can reverse. If you want raw analysis that goes where the headlines cannot, hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Drop your thoughts in the comments. The 340 rocket barrage was not random fire. It was a precision-planned saturation attack designed to demonstrate 3 capabilities simultaneously. First, volume. 340 launches in 90 seconds exceeds the engagement capacity of Iron Dome's coverage sectors in the Western Galilee, which are estimated to handle approximately 40 to 60 simultaneous intercepts under optimal conditions. Second, coordination. The barrage included a mix of unguided Grad and Katyusha rockets to saturate the defense, medium-range Fajr 5 rockets with 50-kilogram warheads targeting military installations, and precision-guided Fateh 110 variants with GPS-corrected guidance and 500-kilogram warheads targeting specific infrastructure targets, including the Haifa port facility and the Ramat David Air Base. Third, survivability. The launchers were dispersed across over 120 positions in southern Lebanon's urban terrain, fired remotely, and abandoned within minutes, making the post-launch Israeli retaliatory strikes largely ineffective against already empty launch sites. The weapon that changes the equation is the Fateh 110, the Iranian-supplied guided ballistic missile with the range of 300 kilometers and a circular error probable of under 30 meters. At that accuracy, the Fateh 110 is not an area weapon. It is a precision weapon capable of striking specific buildings, specific hangars, specific fuel storage facilities, with the reliability of a guided bomb delivered from an aircraft. Hezbollah is estimated to possess between 300 and 500 Fateh 110 units, a precision strike arsenal that gives a non-state actor the capability to conduct strategic bombing campaigns against a sovereign state's infrastructure without a single aircraft. Jordan's decision to seal its western border was the first domino. The Hashemite kingdom, a country of approximately 11 million people, over 60% of whom are of Palestinian origin, cannot absorb the political shock of a full-scale Israeli military operation in Lebanon without risking domestic instability that could threaten the monarchy itself. King Abdullah's decision, communicated to Washington through the Jordanian ambassador at approximately 09 o'clock Washington time, was framed as a security measure. In structural terms, it was a fire break, an attempt to insulate Jordan from the regional conflagration by severing the physical connection that would allow refugees, combatants, and political contagion to flow across the border. Egypt's war warning, issued through the Egyptian Ministry of Foreign Affairs at approximately 1400 Cairo time, was directed not at Israel or Hezbollah, but at the United States, warning that any Israeli military operation in Lebanon that produces a refugee crisis threatening Jordan's stability would be treated by Cairo as a direct threat to Egyptian national security. The warning invoked language from the Camp David framework that has not been used in diplomatic communications between Cairo and Washington since the 1980s. The message was unmistakable. Egypt will not sit idle while the buffer states between it and the conflict zone are destabilized. In Moscow, Russia has activated its diplomatic channels with both Tehran and Tel Aviv, positioning itself as the indispensable mediator in a conflict where both sides need a back channel that neither Washington nor Brussels can provide. In Beijing, the Politburo Standing Committee has been briefed on scenarios involving sustained disruption to the Eastern Mediterranean, a sea lane that carries Chinese trade to European markets. In Ankara, Turkey has placed its military on heightened alert along its southern border with Syria, where Turkish forces and Iranian-backed militias operate in close proximity. In Riyadh, Saudi Arabia has accelerated quiet consultations with Iran through the Chinese-brokered diplomatic channel. First, the Hezbollah barrage demonstrated that non-state actors with access to precision-guided munitions can conduct strategic-level attacks against a sovereign state's critical infrastructure, a capability that renders traditional concepts of state-on-state deterrence inadequate. Second, Jordan's border closure reveals the structural fragility of the buffer states that have absorbed the shocks of Middle Eastern conflicts for decades, a fragility that limits the options available to every actor in the crisis. Third, Egypt's war warning signals that the regional domino effect has reached a boundary beyond which further escalation threatens the stability of states that have remained at peace with Israel for over 4 decades. Fourth, the domino pattern. Hezbollah barrage triggers Israeli escalation, which triggers Jordanian closure, which triggers Egyptian warning, which triggers great power diplomatic activation. Demonstrates that the Middle Eastern conflict system is so tightly coupled that a single tactical event in southern Lebanon can cascade across 4 countries and trigger responses from 6 world capitals within 12 hours. The old containment is breaking. The walls that separated Lebanon's war from Jordan's stability, from Egypt's peace, from the broader regional order that has held since Camp David, those walls are thinner than anyone in Washington believed. And the barrage at 0347 on April 28 proved that a determined actor with 340 rockets can shake them all simultaneously. The dominoes are falling. The question is no longer whether the next one tips. The question is how far the chain extends before something stops it, or before nothing does. What do you think stops the domino chain? Diplomacy, deterrence, or exhaustion? Drop your answer in the comments. We read every one. Hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Until next time, stay sharp.